If you're looking to travel to New York City without breaking the bank, in this video I'm sharing with you helpful ways to save money while you're traveling in this amazing city coming up. And if you're new here, yo, I'm Christine Lozada with Where in the World is CL, and I make travel videos every week to help you get up, get out, and go travel. So if you like to travel, consider subscribing. I want you to have an amazing time saving a buck in this city because I used to live here for 4 years and it's one of my most favorite places in the world. And I'm gonna keep it real right off the bat. You come to New York City to break the bank. So this is like ways to do damage control and not necessarily a way to travel for cheap. Let's dive straight in. This first one is what I'm doing right now, which is traveling in the winter months. So see, it's kind of cold right now. I got my hot hands ready, but I'm here in the months of January to March. During this time, actually, we've been really lucky. We've been getting 50-degree days. It's been super nice. I'm a little bit bundled up, but I'm also saving a bundle, especially on hotels. So for example, I stayed at a hotel that has 4.5 stars on TripAdvisor. Fantastic Hilton hotel, only $90 a night. We just checked into a 5-star hotel. It's at a fraction of what it normally costs. So one thing to consider is come here during the quieter months because you can save significant amounts of money, especially on accommodations. This next one might be related to the months that I'm here, but go see Broadway, but not at the full price. So during these winter months, because there are less people here, you can get the Broadway, buy one ticket, get one free, or do what we're doing tonight, which is pay just $125 for an upgraded seat. So Broadway week is one way you can save a lot of money seeing shows, or one thing I did the other day, go to the TKTS booth. They have a few locations around the city. Full info in the blog post below, make sure you check that out, but you can go see Broadway at a fraction of the price. I sat in the 7th row for Aladdin at $117 for the ticket. Such an amazing way to see it. Also helpful to know is that if you buy a ticket from the TKTS booth, hold on to your stub, because if you go back, you can skip the entire line and get in the front to buy your next ticket. And the other thing is that the Lincoln Center location is significantly quieter than the Times Square location. So consider some of the other locations they have before you go jump in line. Oh, and one more. TKTS is for buying tickets that is for that day or the next day matinee. So when you're ready to get your ticket, make sure you are literally ready to go that day or the next day matinee. This next one is around how you get around, and how you get around can be a humongous impact on how much you spend, especially if you're taking taxis everywhere. One thing to consider is taking the subway. Right now it's only $2.75 a ticket. If you buy an unlimited week of rides, it's only $33. But one thing to consider is that it's way easier to go north and south than it is to go east and west. We'll talk about this more in a later tip, but one thing is consider walking as much as you can. Use City Bike. That's a really amazing bike program to get around the city if you're feeling a little bit adventurous. Or take the subway. As a last resort, take a taxi, take Uber, especially if it's not as easy to get around, but save a ton of money by taking public transportation or walking around. So many of us want to dine out at the really fantastic restaurants here, and they definitely will make you pay for it. And to be honest, generally, it's really worth it. But if you want to go to some of these nicer restaurants, consider going for their happy hour. Go to a nicer restaurant a little bit earlier, enjoy it for happy hour, and then go eat at some of the amazing cheap eats around the city. I can't tell you how many freshly pulled noodles I've eaten while I've been here, but one thing to consider is going to the nicer restaurants during happy hour. If you want a list of all my favorite restaurants to eat for cheap, consider checking out the list below. If you're getting some value out of this, cheers that like button, consider subscribing, and drop your tip in the comments below. We're all a community, and it's getting kind of cold, so let's go sit in the car and talk about the next tip. Everybody loves to come to New York City for the shopping, But one thing a lot of people don't know is that there are sample sales, and these sample sales have a calendar around them. And so consider going to a sample sale to get amazingly discounted product. For example, I went to the Under Armour sample sale and I bought my entire wardrobe of fitness apparel for a year. It was fantastic and it was at a fraction of the price. So consider looking for sample sales. This next way to save money is one of my favorite because there's so much amazing talent in New York City. Go and see the live shows, but go to some of the more local ones. One of the ones that I did just the other night, instead of going to the big format live music places, I went to one of my favorite spots, which is Cafe Wa down in the Village. You can find amazing talent at $10 per ticket. Most people have so much fun, they stay for both of the shows, each of them being an hour and a half long, and you can have a show with a 2-drink minimum, and drinks tend to be between $15 to $16 a drink, and you can dance the night away and enjoy some amazing music. Another example would be, instead of going to a big format jazz club, go to a smaller one, literally go to Smalls. I used to always go to this no frills basement jazz spot where you pay usually around $20 for cover, and you can just sit and listen to amazing jazz until the sun comes up. Or here's another one. One of the things that I used to do is go to the big format performances at Lincoln Center. But now one of my favorite things to do is to go see the up and coming talent at Juilliard. And if you're not familiar with Juilliard, the students that are there are incredibly talented, and they are giving recitals every day throughout the day. Check their calendar, and they're all free. And some of the recital halls are beautiful. And so going there and listening to the student recitals is a fantastic way to enjoy, like I did the other day, a string quartet. And here's one last one, and it's kind of taking a risk. If you want to see a big comedian, oftentimes really, really famous comedians will randomly drop in to the local comedy clubs. I love, near Cafe Wa is the Comedy Cellar, a basement comedy club. One time when I was there, Dave Chappelle came in and just ended up doing a 3-hour show instead of the normal headliner. And it was, I think you can guess how it was. But consider trying to see some of the big names by just dropping into the comedy clubs. And even if they don't drop in, there's fantastic talent, especially at the spot I named, the Comedy Cellar. This next one is one that honestly I was a little skeptical about, but I love using Groupon for traveling. And it's a way I've gotten really fantastic deals for kayaking in San Diego or rock climbing in Florida. But if you look at Groupon for New York City, there are some things on there. Consider looking at Groupon and finding a ton of amazing deals for New York City things to do. I've linked that in the description below, so consider checking it out. Ooh, and this next one is related to that. Things like a tourist pass, like City Pass, is another great way. If you're looking to go to a lot of those main attractions, you can do it at a fraction of the price by buying one of these tourist passes. I've linked some of my favorite ones below to help you out, but that's a great one to do as well. This next one is around saving money by saving time, because time is money. And a lot of people don't know or plan their trip to try to bunch things together. In other words, you can spend a lot of time just getting around this city. So try really hard to bundle things together and plan your New York City trip by area. So for example, this morning I didn't just do the Chelsea Market with my favorite hand-pulled noodles. I walked along the High Line and then I went into Little Island to see all of those things together, and then finished off with drinks at one of my favorite rooftop bars. That rooftop is not open in the winter, by the way. But these are some of the top ways to save money while traveling in New York City. If you have an additional tip, add it in the comments below. We're all a community and we all want to save a buck, because let's be honest, I've been in this city for 9 days already and I have broken the bank as usual. It's been awesome. But make sure you also check the full blog post in the description below, and join me in my next video, which is, I don't want you to get scammed when you're in this city. I freaking love this place, but I have fallen victim to a few of the scams also. So join me in that next video. I'm Christine Lozada, and I'll see you in that next adventure. Ciao.